G'day everyone, Jason Foss here from the Capricornia Chamber of Commerce. Here as usual with Phil Henry. It's the 15th of September today. I remembered to look at the date before we started recording. So that's a small win. We'll take that one and run with it. Bit been going on, Phil. How's things been going?
Oh, I think things are going pretty well actually in this part of the world. We've got all these major projects going. That's creating work all the way down the supply chains, and it's feeding out into other sectors of the economy. So we've been fairly fortunate the last year or so, Jason. But there are still impediments.
Yeah, we had a really good members forum meeting Tuesday this week, 2 days ago now, at the what's the place called? It's on Lime Creek Road. CQ?
Oh, we're at the Rocky Sports Club.
The Rocky Sports Club. That's what I nearly called it the CQ Leagues Club for a minute. It hasn't been called that for years.
No, indeed.
I remembered the date, but I forgot the year.
There we go. Not to worry.
Yeah, so at the Rocky Sports Club, some really good engagement and feedback there, and a bunch of issues were identified, but there was one that really stood out.
There was, and that's basically the lack of skills and labour. And we know it's everywhere. We know it's not only here but statewide and even nationally, which is why there was a big skills and labour summit in Canberra last week. And ours was a bit different. Rather than just representatives of organisations, we had people who are there on the ground and actually understand how the system works or where it doesn't work. So we got some pretty detailed and conversation going and some really useful stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, having those first-hand experiences of what's wrong and where it's broken is really important. You know, it's easy to just sort of say, oh, there's not enough skills and leave it at that, but that doesn't help anybody fix the problem. So having those, specific examples and case studies of where things are difficult is useful information so that we can take it to the right people and get it looked at.
And we've been asked to do that already. I was on a Teams meeting only yesterday with the Department of Tourism, Employment and Small Business. And as we were starting to talk about this, I simply put a chat there that you can do saying, well, we had a meeting last night about this and we got some really good information, and they're very keen to hear from us. And some of those examples were really about anomalies in the apprenticeship and training system, where you get funding for some sectors and not for others, and where you get crossovers, or not more to the point where crossovers don't work. And I think you've probably got a pretty good example of how somebody can be negatively affected by what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I guess my example and the kind of things that the governments are looking for is my daughter's employed as a teacher's aide at a school. She's at uni starting to be a teacher, and she then has to not work for 3 weeks and not get paid for that work for 3 weeks to go and do a placement at a different school, which is unpaid. So all of a sudden she's without an income for 3 weeks, and so the question is, like, do we want more teachers or not? It's these little things that get in the way of making it easy for people to get through their degree and go to uni or TAFE or wherever it needs to be. So that's one example. But if you guys have got any more, we don't really want to hear, there's not enough staff and not enough trained staff. Like, we all know that, but some specific examples of where things aren't working, where there's glitches in the apprenticeship scheme. We heard some good examples the other night. But that's the kind of stuff that we really need to get all that together, to take it back to government and to CCIQ in Brisbane and see if we can make some changes.
Exactly right. So no, I'd certainly back that up. If you've got some of those real life examples where the system isn't working for you, and specifically in detail where your system isn't working or two different systems aren't backing each other up rather than getting in each other's way, that's really what we need to know. So chuck that into us, send it to me if you like, president at capricorniachamber.com.au, and we'll be able to use it.
Something that should be on your radar right now is nominations for the Best in Business Awards. Now, the ceremony itself, or the awards night, I should say, is in late November, but nominations are now open. Get your submissions in a bunch of categories, Phil.
That's right. So nominations are open until the 14th of October. Got the usual categories: best small business, best new business. Get you to nominate your best best trainee or best apprentice, as we've just been talking about. And the new category we have is most inclusive business. So how your business actually copes with the broad range of customers or clients that you might have. So please get them in. There's also the usual People's Choice. That's where anybody basically can nominate their most favourite business, and those nominations close on the 30th of September. And as Jason says, the awards night is at Courties again on the 26th of November, and I've got a band called Side Hustle coming to play.
They were really good at the Village Festival.
They are
Yeah,
sensational.
yep.
So it'll be a good night of dancing and good music. So
Even if you're not a good dancer, it might be a good night of dancing.
as we found out last year, there are a lot of people. Not being a good dancer as it doesn't stop people from trying, does it? That's Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Their memory there's nothing there threatening Fred and Ginger. So yes,
It was a good night. It was a good night.
indeed. Yeah. So no, be in that.
Now the thing with the nominations as well is that it's there's 5 or 6 questions for each category, I suppose.
Yep.
It's not a particularly onerous task, but I'd encourage you to at least have a look at the questions, because it is a good opportunity to stop and think about your business, what you're doing well, where you're going, what your plans are. It's a really good exercise just to stop and, it's a cliche I know, but work on your business rather than in your business for a few minutes. So strongly recommend getting on either the Capricornia Chamber website or Capricorn Enterprise website. You'll find links to those nomination forms in either place, and get your nominations in.
No, that's right. I mean, it had basically 2 functions. One is to showcase the best of our businesses and raise awareness of what we've got in business here in the region, Rockhampton and Livingston, but also, as Jason says, have a bit of a think about your business. What do you know about it? It might just sort of spur some thinking about things that, maybe something you've been looking at doing to change your business, and here's your opportunity.
All right, now you can see we've got lots of energy here because we've just had coffee, but there's another one coming soon.
There is indeed. So our monthly chamber coffee, always the last Wednesday of the month, and for this month, Wednesday happens to be the 28th of September, and we'll be at the Coffee House. All of you know the Coffee House, corner of Bolsover and William Street, there on the corner, and 7:30 as usual, and we'll buy you a coffee. Even if you're not well behaved, we'll buy you a coffee.
Well, hopefully they'll be reasonably well behaved first up in the morning, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but after the coffee, maybe not so well behaved, but no, do come along. We're getting more people to come to this because it's just a useful, casual catch up with other businesses, people you know, and people that you haven't met yet.
Looking forward to that one. Actually, I haven't been to the Coffee House for years, so that should be a good one. Really good opportunity just to make some new connections, renew some existing ones. And as you said, Phil, we've been getting really good numbers of late, because it's just a good casual start to the day, informal start to the day before you can get off and get into it.
Exactly right. So we look forward to seeing you there. Once again, September 28th, 7:30 a.m. at the Coffee House.
Well, I think that's about it for today.
I think it is, Jason, but look, before we go, look at where we are here on Tanuba. It's a beautiful sunny spring day. We've had our coffee. It's fantastic.
All right.
So enjoy it, and we'll see you at the Coffee House.
We'll see you then.
Bye.